Good evening, Phillies fans, and welcome back to the Fighting Final here on the It's a Rap Sports Network with your boy Matty B on the call tonight. Gladly, happily reporting a 9-5 Phillies win over the Colorado Rockies as they push the winning streak now to 6. They've taken the series. The 4-game set is officially in the bag for the Phillies, their 11th series win of the season. This game had a lot of things that that have been pleasant surprises as of late. The hitting resurgence of Bryce Harper on display. Trey Turner continues to swing a solid stick. JT Realmuto getting into the act as well tonight as the Phillies offense went off in a tune of a bunch of home runs and a bunch of contact ball too. So Phillies all over the Rockies tonight, 9-5, even though Carlos Hernandez did his best. I mean, he did his utmost best to make this a game in the ninth. But the Phillies held on for their win, the 31st win of the year. And I mentioned their 11th series win so far in 2025. Taijuan Walker, Phillies spotted him a 2-0 lead, and then he promptly gave that up. And I was actually thinking early in this game, is it going to be one of these types of games? Because we saw the sort of the Taijuan Walker that we all know and love the last time he went out. Is Taijuan Walker back? And obviously, with the situation with the starting rotation, this is the worst time that we can possibly see Taijuan Walker. And he did not look too good through first 2 innings. But to his credit and to the Phillies' credit, he settled down and the Phillies separated themselves from just a god-awful baseball team. If you have 8 wins through the end of May, there's some serious investigations need to be put into effect. And Barbara called it, and I'll give her props here. I get it. Everybody has their downtimes as a franchise, and hell, Phillies fans can attest to downtimes. But when you're consistently bad every year for a long period of time, and I mean 10, 15, 20 years, and it doesn't seem like you're in any position or anywhere near to turning things around, I think it's time that somebody investigates it, because there's cities out there that are dying for an MLB franchise. And if the ownership group in Colorado doesn't want a baseball team, then they should sell it and move it. But, God bless the Colorado Rocky fans. And I know not many of them come to the ballpark, but the ones that do and the ones that have been around since 93, my hat's off to you, because it's not easy. It's not easy being a Colorado Rocky fan. That team stinks. Absolutely garbage. And the Phillies handled their business tonight against a stinky team. And now tomorrow they'll go out for the sweep before heading off to Sacramento against another stinky team. So Stinkorama 2025 continues here tonight on the Fighting Final. So there we go. Let's get into this. Michael Papernick says good win. Yeah. Star Wars saying a bad ballpen. It's a ballpen, Star Wars, that definitely has to be adjusted. And there's a lot of bat packing going on, a lot of back patting going on. Sorry, high-fiving. A lot of we're back in first place, back with the best record, I guess, in the National League or maybe even all of baseball. But I hope that the real Phillies fans out there understand that this is just sort of the ebbs and flows of the 2025 season and of a baseball season. The Phillies are playing substandard competition right now. Pittsburgh, Colorado, and Sacramento are 3 of the worst franchises in this league. And the Phillies are doing what they got to do and beating them. But I just really pray to God that no one's losing sight of what really the problems of this team are, and that there still are. And the bullpen now with the Jose Alvarado thing, it's one of the problems. And it wasn't like great before Alvarado got caught cheating. Now it's not great at all. So I hope that we're not thinking that Carlos Hernandez and Ruiz and Tanner Banks and that crew is going to take us to a Super Bowl, or a World Series. But offensively, you got to be happy. Phillies seem to be battling their way out of it again, I guess. And yeah, I am going to constantly say it. Bad competition. Not bad. I mean, just substandard. They don't even belong. The Rockies don't belong in Major League Baseball. And if you're looking for a team, I guess, to pilfer, everyone asks me, well, what's the situation, or what's the answer for catcher for the Phillies? Well, Colorado's got a catcher, Hunter Goodman. I mentioned him last time. I tracked him his draft year, and I mentioned him last time the Phillies played him. If we're looking to get healthy with the catching position, call the Rockies up and see what they're wanting for Hunter Goodman. This is a good young catcher. A lot of Logan O'Hoppe characteristics in this kid. And if you're looking the bridge to Taid, I think Hunter Goodman might be that cheap option if you could pry him away from the Rockies. And matter of fact, you should be sniffing around the Rockies for anything you might need, because it's just a matter of time, and that's like in a month where the Rockies are going to throw up the white flag and say we're done, officially done. So it's time to start looking at what that carcass can offer. But it's a bad team, man. Back-to-back home runs. Yeah, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper with 2 moonshot home runs, and that was nice to see. Absolutely nice to see. 3 home runs, I think, total for the Phillies tonight, by pulling Walker after 5 innings, 68 pitches. 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, 2 strikes. Makes no sense to go with 3 bullpen guys in a daytime game tomorrow. Yeah, and even one of the biggest homers that I know about the Phillies, Ben Davis, agrees with you. He basically took a shot at Rob Thompson by saying Rob has no feel for the game. Rob is completely driven by analytics. He's completely driven by what a book tells him. He's completely driven by what a score sheet tells him. He has no feel for what's happening with this baseball team. And if one of the biggest homers that I know, Ben Davis, is going to start laying into the manager, what does that tell you about the manager? And how does that make you feel? There was absolutely no reason why Taijuan Walker should have been pulled. Yeah, he was a little chaotic early on, but he settled down, and it's the Rockies, for God's sakes. Even I could probably pitch my way out of trouble with the Rockies. I could probably go 7 innings against the Rockies, and my fastball tops out at about 32 miles an hour, and I could probably hang in there. So there was absolutely no reason to go to 3 bullpen pitchers for the majority bulk of this game and let Walker off the hook. You should have let Walker pitch until Walker's arm fell off, or until he literally could not hold on to the lead. And again, Ben Davis, one of the biggest homers on the planet, was taking a shot at Rob Thompson for that. So I agree with you, Michael Papernick, 100%. The Phillies were up 6-3 when Walker was pulled. Yeah. Gene Segura has announced his retirement after 12 seasons spent with the Angels, Brewers, Diamondbacks, Mariners, Phillies, and Marlins. He was an all-star in 2013 and 2018. Did he get dropped or cut last year, early on in the season? No, 2023. He hasn't been in baseball since 2023. He just now got around to retiring. Congratulations, Gene Segura. Won't forget that 2022 season, especially the NLDS against the Cardinals in the 9th inning. Got that rally started. So I'll never forget that. Ricky Deal's watching. Yep. I hope Ben Davis isn't trying to be the Phillies' next manager. Well, listen, you know what? He's got one leg up on the predecessor. I mean, obviously, even Ben Davis is going to come out and call you out and say, you have no feel for the game right now. You're going off completely what a book is telling you. So that's already a plus for me. It's already one up on Rob. But you're right, though, man. It's telling. It's telling, and obviously we're not the only ones seeing it. But the Phillies do hold on. And the ramifications of burning through your bullpen, the ramifications of going with maybe a shortened bench tomorrow with the bullpen being burned through is basically it's the Rockies, and then going out to Sacramento to play the A's. Now, I hope the Phillies don't go into the series with I'm about to say Oakland, with the A's with a laissez-faire attitude. I think the A's are a better team than a lot of people are giving them credit, and the Phillies ain't gonna be able to sleepwalk like they've been sleepwalking through this series. But maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe he just felt like, you know what, it doesn't really matter who I burn through. I'll pitch the bench tomorrow, and they would still beat the Rockies. But it is telling that even the biggest homer that I know is talking shade against the manager by saying you have no feel for this thing because you're going into the bullpen at this time. Spent 4 years at the Phillies, helped us get a World Series in 2022. He'll always have a fond memories. He did spend 4 years with us, but I would imagine his best year was 2022, his final year. Matter of fact, he was one of the more energetic players. I look at that Cardinals NLDS, and I also look back at that Mets August series. You guys remember that one where the Phillies played the Mets in a 4-game series at home? A Friday night, a doubleheader on Saturday, and a Sunday game. And that Sunday game was the wacky back and forth, I think 7-6 or 8-7 final score Mets. Segura hits a home run, I believe, was either the late innings or in extra innings to tie it or take the lead. I forget what the deal was, but he had fire all season long. And then I mentioned the play there against the Cardinals that essentially saved the season. that got the Phillies, on track to make that run. So you're right. I'm going to give Segura credit for where credit's due. My grandson hitting a wiffle ball, and half he is one up on Rob, 6 years old. Yeah, it is. All right, let's head on over to the box scores tonight because it's a late night tonight and I want to go to bed. Phillies on the day, 9 runs on 12 hits, no errors. Rockies 5 runs on 11 hits and a ungodly 3 errors. I did not realize that the Rockies committed 3 errors. How do you commit 3 errors in one game with this type of scoring system? I shudder. Anyway, again, just a testament to the futility that is the Colorado Rockies. Offensively for the Phillies, Turner with 2 hits, Harper with 2 hits. Of course, they went back-to-back with homers, each with homers, obviously. Schwarber, no hits tonight, over 3. Did get on base twice, though, with walks. So he was productive somewhat down there in the 4-hole. Castellanos with 2 hits. JT, the big night, 3 for 5. A run, a hit, a homer, and 3 RBIs as he raises his batting average with a 3-hit night, raises up to 240. Bohm with a hit and Sosa with a hit. Everyone else pretty much quiet in the lineup, but it was the Trey Turner, Bryce Harper power show there in the 4th inning, I think it was, 3rd inning, as it capped off a 4-run third, kind of propelled the Phillies back up into the lead 4-2, and then it was Phillies were off and running pretty much since then. Colorado, Hunter Goodman, 2 for 5. Tovar 2 for 5, Beck 2 for 5. Again, Goodman, the young catcher, had 2 RBIs as well as the last one there for the Rockies. Again, if you're looking to get healthy for the catcher position with the Phillies, ask the Rockies about the potential availableness of Hunter Goodman. Everybody else for the Rockies, 1 hit or 0 hits. Pitching wise, Phillies, Taijuan Walker, 5 labored innings. I am not going to deny that it was labored, but 66 pitches or 68 through 5, I can live with that. He could have pitched at least 2 more innings for me. 6 hits, 3 runs. They were earned, 2 walks and 2 strikeouts, and he gave up the homer. Tanner Banks, Joe Ross, and Carlos Hernandez, who came in the 9th and did everything he possibly could to get the Rockies back in this game. But he found a way to win it, or to hammer it down anyway. And the Phillies, his line on the night was 1 inning, 3 hits, 2 runs. They were earned, a walk, a strikeout, 19 pitches in 1 inning. For the Rockies, Palmquist, who is a good young pitcher in his own right, but maybe he needs a fresh start. Entered the game with a ERA around 11. Now that ERA is up to 11.88. 4 innings pitched, 4 1/3, 10 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts, and 2 homers. Chavilli, Alexander, and Aganos as well pitched for the Rockies. Scoring summary: Trey Turner would get the scoring early on in this game in the 1st inning, scoring on a throwing error by Hunter Goodman, making it 1-0. Castellanos would then knock in Harper to make it 2-0 in the 1st. But here comes the Rockies back in their half of the 1st. Goodman would knock in Beck to make it 2-1. Amador in the 2nd inning would knock in Farmer to make it 2-2. And then the Phillies would go off in that 4-run third. Turner with the homer, followed up by Harper with the homer back-to-back. Then Rio Muto would knock in Castellanos. And then Schwarber would score on the Moniak throwing error, making it 6-2. Martini would homer in the 4th, making it 6-3. And then Bohm knocking in Castellanos, making it 7-3 in the 5th. Rio Muto with the homer, a 2-run shot in the 6th, making it 9-3. Then here come the Rockies and Carlos Hernandez. Tovar knocks in Martini. Tovar gets then thrown out trying to stretch a single into a double. But Amador goes to 3rd, so scores now 9-4. Then Goodman would knock in Amador to make it 9-5, but the Phillies would find a way to hammer it down for the win. That was your final 9-5. The Phillies left 8 runners on base and were 2 for 13 with runners in scoring position tonight. They did swipe 3 bases, though, tonight. That was pretty impressive. The Rockies left 8 on base and were 4 for 10 with runners in scoring position. And there you go. Phillies win 9-5. 6 games now in a row. First place series win against the Rockies, and all is right in the world. All is right in the world. The tush push lives on in Philadelphia. Is already seeing billboards celebrating a successful dodging of a ban. Yeah, whatever. It's not a football play. Let them have their push. Who cares? It's not a football play. All right. Let's head now over back to the show into our Broad Street bottom line. Let's do that tonight. So my Broad Street bottom line for this game and for this series and over the last few series, to include the Pirates and maybe the back end of the Cardinals, is you got to win who you play. It doesn't matter if it's the Mets, if it's the Yankees, if it's the Dodgers, if it's the Astros, or if it's the Rockies or Pirates. You got to win who you play. And sometimes these stretches of the season or what the doctor ordered, and it was before the Phillies at this particular moment in time. Now, again, as I said at the top of the show, it is okay to be excited about them winning because they're winning, and winning is not guaranteed against anybody in this league. But let's not lose sight to what, still ails this team. We got a bullpen that is lacking any kind of lights out stopper in it. We got some questions with the starting rotation. The offense has come around, but let's see how that continues, right? This team is far from a complete team. 31-18, first place. It's late May, and that's good. They have answered the bell, and I'll give them that. But tonight, with Rob Thompson getting bashed on by Ben Davis for not sticking with Taijuan Walker when really there was no sense for him not to, is a telling sign about what the manager is doing in that dugout. Or I should say, who's managing in that dugout. It's not Rob Thompson. It's a book. So continue to be excited, and I am. It was a great win, 6 in a row. But, obviously the palate has been cleansed and is set for October. But you don't get to October unless you win in May, and I get that. But be excited, but let's not go overboard. Us. So that's my Broad Street bottom line: is excitement tempered by reality. All right, let's do the let's get into the round the bases. Let's go around the bases on this beautiful Wednesday night here in Major League Baseball. Games that have gone final. It was the Twins over the Guardians 6-5. And that was really it. Wow, it was the Cubs over the Marlins 2-1. The Rays over the Astros 8-4. Final in 11. It was Baltimore 8-4 over the Brewers, 5-1 Tigers over the Cardinals, and 6-5 Mariners over the White Sox. Royals beat the Giants 8-4, and in the Mets all over the Red Sox 5-1. It was 4-3 Yankees over the Rangers, and it was 14-0. That's right, 14-0. Blue Jays over the Padres. Braves and Nationals were rained out. They'll make it up as part of a doubleheader in September. Games that are currently still ongoing. It is 6-3 Angels over the A's in the 5th. 1-0 Diamondbacks over the Dodgers in the 6th. And that's it. There you go. And of course, Phillies 9-5 winners tonight. In Colorado tomorrow, the Phillies will go for the sweep. It'll be Ranger Suarez versus German Marquez, a 3:10 local start at Coors Field, and we will be, of course, on the air immediately following that game at around 6:30 tomorrow. On the final, it'll be Mike Laro has you, so Mike will take you in the into the A series, and we'll pick things up on Friday from Sacramento. Of course, I was supposed to be on Monday, but was pushed to today because Pat needed to schedule something. So you had me tonight, and you got Mike tomorrow, and then we'll be off to Sacramento on Friday. It worked. The Rats of Colorado served up red and white pinstripe cheese. Yeah, I guess. Man, they're a bad baseball team. Terrible baseball team. So yeah. We'll be back for the final tomorrow for the finale of this series, and then get ready for the A's. By the way, I am now 15-5 as your host of the Fightings Final. It's becoming too easy, but as I said, I won't be. My show production, my numbers are going to come down because June, July, and August are pretty busy months for me. So you're going to be seeing me, but not as much. You'll be seeing the others kind of picking up my slack. So things will. They'll close the gap, I should say. All right. that's going to be do it for us tonight. 9-5 again. One time the Phillies with the win. Mop. Give Suarez and Stott. Oh yeah. By the way, the Phillies with their lineup tonight. Yeah, Turner lead off, right? I believe that's the 11th time he's led off this season. So let's go over the leadoff carousel. Turner has now led off 12 times, Stott 26 times, and Schwarber 9 for the season. The Phillies still have not incorporated the same lineup more than 6 times. Like they've only gone back to back 6 times with the same lineup all season long through 49 games. Let that sink into your heads too. But that's going to do me for tonight. Phillies 9-5 winners. We will go for the sweep tomorrow. Ranger Suarez on the hill against German Marquez. 3:10 start out in Colorado. Check for us around 6:30 tomorrow night, as we will be here to give you the Fightins final. Mike Lauro with the call. And before I say good night, I got to ask Harry the K, man, what you got for me?